In last week's video, we talked about the possibility that Lilith cursed Ida, and outside of her, there aren't that many people in the show that could be responsible for the curse. Luce is new to the Boiling Islands, King seems to be someone she adopted later in life, and none of the other family members have been seen at this point. However, one culprit I think a lot of people might not have thought of is Ida herself. That she may be the one responsible for her own curse, something she did on accident or as a result of a terrible life choice she made when she was younger. I have two theories for how this could have happened, but before I get into that, I want to remind you all to like and subscribe, as well as check out our Owl House parody merch at our Teespring shop, which includes the Full Metal Alchemist shirt, as well as our Witches Before Wizards tee. Now, in the previous video, we discussed the possibility that the Owl House itself might be enchanted by a glyph on its window, similar to Luce's light glyph or her snow glyph, but on a stained glass window like the one at the library that gets enchanted when the Wailing Stone goes by. The Owl House itself is seemingly alive to some degree, with Hooty being a sentient being not just living in its door, but actually controlling the whole house. He even seems to have legs to move around. This would explain how Ida avoids detection, but it may also explain how she could have cursed herself. If the glyph can enchant the house to become an owl demon, then using it the wrong way could curse Ida as well. This would be a bit poetic on a thematic level because Ida has made herself an outcast from society. While the show sends a lot of positive messages about being your own person and not letting society rule you, it also seems to be making clear that Ida gave up a lot of what it means to be part of a community to do that. On a metaphorical level, it could symbolize how without some sense of society, some community, some tribe, you become an animal living in the wild. When it came to Luce and King, she appears to only have let them into her life because of what she could gain from them. Luce being her assistant and King working for her as well. She of course has a sentimental side, but that seems to be the point of her arc, realizing that she can't do everything alone, that she needs people she loves in her life, like Luce, like King, like her sister, that you can't give up everything just for your power, otherwise you're just an animal that lives in the woods. That isn't the only way she could have cursed herself, however. That theme of isolation from society turning you into a monster is something that fits very well within the coven system the society has set up as well. On the surface, it appears that the coven system is meant to keep people under control of the Emperor. The symbols of each coven make it so that your magic is limited to those authorized by it, with unlimited magic belonging only to those who work for the Emperor himself. Something strange about the Emperor's coven, however, is that it too has a seal. Why would it need that if it allows you to use all forms of magic which you would naturally have? They make it clear over and over again that they have access to all types of magic, with the principle of Hexite saying all, yes all, to really emphasize that point. Now that could be a lie, of course. It could be some subtle way to seal off some form of magic. It could also have some other restriction on it that we don't know about yet, like the magic can't be used specifically against the Emperor, or that the Emperor can control you or zap away your magic with the snap of his fingers. Those are all possibilities, but I think it's possible that the Emperor's seal, and all of the other seals really, may stop witches from turning into monsters. What if Ida isn't really cursed so much as she's going through the normal changes that witches go through if their power isn't sealed off in some way? We know that there was a time where they used glyphs to do spells, but as they evolved to do magic, they may have affected themselves in other ways. They are already somewhat demonic looking, and they might not be that different from the other demons of the Boiling Isles who just run around the wilderness, the only exception being that they learn to seal off their magic in order to prevent that type of transformation. After all, we see other demon types using magic as well as attending Hexside, so what separates them from the demons running around in the woods, yet still having the same powers as the witches? What if the sealing system was made not just to control people, but to stop them from becoming animals as they get older, as the more magic they learn to use, the more demonic they become? By sealing off other types of magic, witches can stop their transformation before becoming adults. Ida seems to be the only person wanted for the crime of not joining a coven, so that may be why no one actually knows that this is what happens when a witch has that unlimited power. It's just been so long since anyone has questioned the system and done this. The Emperor's seal could be sealing off just enough of their power to stop them from making this transformation. A lot of you may be asking that, if that's the case, how will Ida break the curse? Well, I think that part of the show is about finding your own tribe. Like I said before, Ida claims to be independent, but she's clearly emotionally attached to the people in her life. Even the bat babies made her sad when they were picked up by their mother. I think the solution here will be about people forming their own tribes, their own covens, creating their own seals that allow them to use all the magic they want, while also preventing everyone's transformations into monsters. Forming covens based on the people you love instead of loving people based on what you have in common. Groups where people are allowed to be weird and different from each other but still get along and be in the same group. Like Lou said back in the very first episode, none of them fit in with the others, but they could not fit in together. At least, that's what I think might happen, but what do you guys think? Did Ida curse herself, or is it just way too early to tell? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, how she might have gotten cursed, and I'll see you next time.